I'm Tom from PhoneUplink.com, and this is the Kyocera Echo, the world's first dual-screen Android smartphone, and probably one of the world's first dual-screen smartphones in general. Does it stack up? Does it work well? It's time to find out in the full review. Alright, so let's start this review off by talking about the hardware of the Kyocera Echo. So the first thing, obviously, you're going to notice that's pretty significant is that it features dual 3.5-inch displays, both standard LCD technology, coming in at 480 by 800 pixels, so that's pretty cool. You also get a 1 GHz Snapdragon processor with 512 megabytes of RAM, a 5 megapixel camera on the back, capable of recording up to 720p video. You also get micro SD support up to 32 gigabytes, and a 1370 milliamp battery with about 7 hours of talk time. You also get a second battery with a charger, and we'll get into why they include that later in the video. So let's do a quick hardware tour, and I'll show you everything about the Kyocera Echo. So on the front, you've got your normal display, you've got your home, menu, and back buttons, your light indicator to indicate if you have a new message or anything. You have your two gray little slabs there, and I'll talk about why those are there in a minute. On the side, you have your headphone piece, micro SD card in here up to 8 gigabytes or 32 gigabytes, but 8 gigabyte card is included, so you have enough storage to get all your awesome apps on there. You've got your power button, your volume up and down, and your micro USB port and a lanyard. So micro USB is for charging and connecting to your computer, by the way. Right here you have your 5 megapixel camera again, and you've got your case. So let's take this off really quick. Here you got your 1370 milliamp battery, pretty cool. And there is no SIM card included, obviously, because it is on Sprint, which is CDMA, and does not use SIM cards unless, obviously, you're on 4G, which does include SIM cards, at least on Verizon it does. When you open it up, again, your two displays, and it turns on itself. Right here you've got your buttons, which turn on actually on the second display when you open it, so obviously you wouldn't want both indicators on. That would be a little weird. And these are pretty much so you can hold it. These will make it comfortable. They also make it easier to close the phone, so you're not trying to slip around, hit the indicators trying to close it, because you have to unlock it when you open it, and then you close it like this, and then it closes up. Let's do a quick size comparison. I'm going to get the Evo, or Inspire 4G, sorry, by HTC on AT&T. Keep opening apps. So here's the phones compared together. As you're going to see, the phone is a lot thicker. So yeah, obviously because there's two displays, it's going to be a lot thicker. And this one elevates a little bit, sorry about that. It's a little bit higher when you, even then, because the camera is right there. But this is definitely a lot thicker than a lot of other phones. And that could be a problem for you. I haven't really found it a problem for me. The phone's really not that heavy, so that's good. So let's talk about the actual dual screen support with the Kyocera Echo, because obviously it's not going to work too well if you don't have good support. So Kyocera has added a couple interesting things to this phone to make dual screens pretty cool. First thing you're going to notice is that it does work. Both screens are touch screens, so you can swipe with either screen. So that's pretty cool. Let's open up the browser and I'll show you something you can do. So let's go to a different website. I didn't want to use this website because it has a lot of Flash content. Let's try, I have to think of one off my head now. Let's try CNN.com. And as you do see, it does have Swipe pre-installed. Don't know if you'll like it. I think it's fine. It took me some time to get used to, and there still are a couple things I need to get used to. But overall it's pretty good. Let's go to the full site of CNN. If I can get that to open. Open a new window. I usually can't get CNN. Well, that's a weird issue. Oh, well, I just noticed that, honestly. I don't know why I didn't open on both displays. Full site. Yeah, that's really weird. Hold on, let's go back. I've never seen that happen before. Let's just go to PhoneUplink.com, because that's the best website ever. Just kidding. PhoneUplink. Let's go to PhoneUplink.com. So here we are. Here we're on the website again. It's loading up right now. I think it's about done. So again, you've got dual displays. So you can either scroll with both. Double tap all works pretty good. let's go into an article and I'll show you the implementation that Kyocera has implemented. So let's scroll down, double tap. Let's say you're reading an article and for whatever reason you want to text somebody or do something else. Put fingers or one finger on both displays. And as you can see, you can set to do something else on one of the displays. You've got either the choice of opening one of these apps on that one or that one. And as you can see, you don't get full support. Not everything is supported. There's only a couple apps that Kyocera has enabled. But let's go into the YouTube app. That's probably the most interesting on this one. And do not show this message again. And I don't honestly know why you'd want to do this, especially with reading an article and a YouTube video. This is just me trying to show you an example. We'll scroll right there. So let's find a video. Let's do Smosh video. So here you are. I have it loading. I'll turn up the volume.
Shut up! I can't believe I'm finally a Pokemon trainer. I'm gonna catch them all and nothing's gonna stand in my way.
So as you can see, it does work. There is a little bit of slowdown when you're actually doing both things at once, especially with the YouTube videos or anything Flash related. But it does work. It definitely does work. Again, I'm not quite sure why you want to use it, especially with the apps that they said you could use, and you can also switch which ones are where. But I'm not quite sure exactly. I've never found myself wanting to use both at the same time. Maybe if you wanted to look through your contacts, possibly, and you were sending someone an email up here or down there, possibly. Again, I don't really know. I don't use it a whole lot, but it is there and it's kind of cool. And usually if you're not loading Flash or something, it will work pretty good. So let's try, let me go into Angry Birds, because I do like this game. And this is a game that most games are now enabled. You can use on dual screens. And the funny thing is, you actually had to download a plugin. Their plugin, Kyocera's plugin, you actually have to download when you first get the phone. You turn the volume of that, that's a little loud. But yeah, you have to actually install it. It's kind of weird. I thought they'd just have it there. But, you know, whatever. It's alright. So, I'm going to play this and show you, and you're pretty much are going to find the con that I have when I'm playing this. So, we're in Angry Birds. I'm looking at the viewfinder on the camera. So as you can see, everything loads fine. There is no lag using dual screens at all. It works fine. You can zoom out. There you go. Everything's all cool. I actually never even noticed that bomb up there. Well, that was just a fail. I don't know why I did that. But anyways, the big problem you're going to find that I'm trying to point out is the black bars, or are the black bars in the middle. These are where the screen has to end on both displays. There's not really a whole lot they can do about that right now. But it definitely does ruin the experience a little bit. You're like, oh, this is cool, dual screens. And then there's this black bar, which does make it sometimes hard to play Angry Birds. When you've got dual displays, it's kind of weird having that black bar. Because sometimes, let's say, well, I failed the level. Let's say, for example, this monkey right here. The monkey is like completely gone, as you can see behind that black bar. So sometimes when I'm looking around, it's kind of hard to see what's going on. So that's a big problem with it. Also, let's go back to the browser. Another problem, again, is reading text is kind of hard when you get to the middle. You get used to it, you definitely do, but still it's a little annoying to be like, oh, there's a black bar right there. It can be a little bothersome, and it does ruin the experience sometimes. It really will depend on you. There are different apps that I do love actually to use with the dual screens though. Let's try Facebook. Go back, I don't want to upload a photo. Let's go back. Alright, so here you go. So here's Facebook on the Kyocera Echo. As you can see, it definitely doesn't look bad at all. I actually like the experience because it's not really that hard to do. But that works pretty good. So if you're definitely into social networking and you use Facebook and stuff a lot, this would be a great phone. Let's go to Twitter and I'll show you Twitter. Twitter also works pretty well. So there you are. Here's Twitter. I believe you can also do it in this. Yeah, you can also do it in this orientation if you want. That's pretty cool. Again, you might have that reading problem, but still, they're pretty cool. It really depends on the app, But there's also some apps, developers can pretty much develop apps for the Kyocera Echo, and Kyocera has developer kits they can do it. And this is one of the applications that has been developed for the Kyocera Echo specifically. As you're going to see, The Sims 3 has been designed for both screens, so you won't be seeing the same thing on both screens. You'll be doing something completely different on each of them. So let's start game. So as you're going to see, so create sim. As you can see, you'll have all your, I haven't even played the game a whole lot yet, but you can change like your hair color and all that stuff down here, and then you see the end result up here. So that's definitely cool. Let's see if I can select a persona. I'll go through this really quick. There we go. Choose 5 traits. Well, doesn't want me to. Let's do that. There we go. Let me just show you really quickly what it looks like. Okay, my name's Cubby, or County. Done. Okay. I just want to show you the actual game. So developers can make games, and the problem is I don't think it's actually going to happen. Just because this is one phone, there aren't a ton of Android phones out there that have dual screens. This is the only one out there. So I don't think that developers are going to see interest or see why they should. Sorry, all these things are coming up. I don't know why they will want to. Why would a developer want to make an app like this, spend all the time making an app for dual displays, if there's only one phone out there, which hasn't matured much yet, that has a dual display? So I don't know, it really depends. We'll have to wait and see if developers jump on board and make apps. I just don't think, as much as I want it to happen, because that'd be kind of cool, I don't think it is going to happen, sadly. But it is a cool concept, as you can see, it does work. And there isn't really any lag at all. So it all does work pretty well on Android 2.2 and the 1 GHz Snapdragon processor. I use Advanced Task Killer to kill that. Oh, so talking about speed. Speed on here on the Kyocera Echo is pretty fast. I haven't seen any slowdown. Everything seems to work really well. Everything's really fast. And yeah, I haven't seen any lag. I don't really know much to say. It's pretty snappy. It's not the fastest in the world. It's not like super crazy fast, but it does work pretty well. You can also, again, even if when you're not using the dual displays, you can always just use it with one display if you want to, because you're not always going to be using dual displays everywhere you go. Maybe you will, but again, I don't. Usually when I'm out somewhere, I'll take it out and use one display, unless I'm on Twitter or Facebook, and then in that case, I'll usually use dual displays. Or obviously Angry Birds, which I play a lot on here, just because dual displays is still kind of fun. Now let's talk about another con, because there is obviously another con with the dual displays, is battery life. Battery life with dual displays on the Kyocera Echo is awful. So I'm going to be downright serious about this. It is really bad. It lasts maybe, they say 4 hours of talk time, but I'm guessing they're talking about with only one screen on. And when you have 2 screens on, you can just almost watch the battery indicator drop. It's pretty bad. And that is why Kyocera purposely included a second battery and a special battery charger, so you can take this wherever you go to charge this. And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing for them to do. I know it's nice that they include a second battery, because if they didn't, I'd be even more angry. But that's just basically them saying, oh yeah, our battery life is really bad, so we're going to give you a second battery and even a battery charger for that. So that's really bad. Hopefully they can, maybe in the next model, if they make another dual screen phone, is they improve the battery life and make the battery bigger than 1,370 milliamps, because that's a pretty small battery right now, especially for dual displays. So practically you won't be using dual displays quite often. You're probably going to be using one display most of the time. And unfortunately, in my opinion at least, one display doesn't look very good, because as you can see, there's this whole big border around that side, so they could make this side as small as possible, the border on that side as small as possible. So it's not the best experience with only one display open, but you know, it really depends on what you want to do. So I didn't really touch on Android specifically in this review. Sorry. So pretty much Android is stock Android mostly. Android Froyo. There aren't a whole lot of design differences. You do get some pre-installed apps like Sprint Zone and Sprint TV, and some Kyocera installed apps so you can use your dual displays. But for the most part, it's just stock Android, and it's all good. So if you want Android, if you're fine with Android 2.2, that's cool. I wish they would have upgraded to 2.3 because that's the newest operating system, and I just wish phones would start implementing, all Android phones would start implementing Android 2.3 Gingerbread from launch. So that was a little bit off the beaten path. I just randomly went to Froyo. But yeah, so it really just comes down to what you're going to be doing on your phone and if you think it's really worth it. Do you want the gimmicky, sorry to say this gimmicky, but do you want dual displays that are kind of gimmicky? Do you want to be able to browse internet on two displays even if you have this black bar? Do you want to play Angry Birds and dual displays like I said before? It really depends. Me personally, I prefer sticking to phones like the Inspire 4G. It was actually off. But it really depends on what you think. I wouldn't suggest it right now. The Kyocera Echo, I'm honestly going to say, needs time to mature. Dual screen phones, if they're going to continue making them at all, need time to mature. This one is pretty much the first one out of the gate, so I'm going to give it a little bit of slack here. There aren't really any other dual screen smartphones, especially Android smartphones, so I'm going to give it some slack there. But it needs some time to mature. I would definitely love if Kyocera would go back to the drawing board and figure out a couple things. Firstly, how they could get rid of this, how they could make the border between both displays smaller, even smaller, to the point where you can't even like see it, but also fixing battery life. If they did that, those are the two really the main issues, and maybe thinness as well, because again, it's not the thinnest phone. Also, the final thing I wish they would fix is the hinge on the back. Hopefully they could improve that. I definitely, if Kyocera is watching this, I definitely want them to, I really do badly want them to go back to the drawing board and redo this, because this is a great concept phone, but that's as far as it can go. I wouldn't be able to use this on a daily basis forever. It's really not the best phone on the market right now, but it's definitely a cool idea. So if you are interested in it, again, $199.99 from Sprint, and you get this, and yeah, so it depends what you want to do. Again, a pretty cool phone, great concept, but I would just wait until it matures a little bit. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my review of the Kyocera Echo for Sprint. Remember to follow us at PhoneUplink.com and Twitter.com/Tom Maxwell. I'll see you in the next one.